Hello everyone. So today we'll look at this topic called role of current affairs for UPSC prelims 2025. I generally get this question about current affairs. What's the role of current affairs? Can we clear prelims without going through current affairs, or how to approach current affairs? So from that perspective, let's see the role of current affairs for UPSC prelims 2025. So if you try to understand the role and importance of current affairs from the UPSC prelims perspective, it has two perspectives to it. One is the role of current affairs in solving the questions from the static areas like polity, economy, S&T, environment, geography. So these are the static areas which you can read from standard books and understand the concepts. But most of the times it is the case that UPSC will ask questions from the static areas from the current affairs perspective. There was some time back, there was a question on legislative councils, state legislative councils. What was the reason? There was an issue going on in regard to that. That is why there was a question. There was question on anti-defection law. It was a static, but it was in the news, so there was a question. There was a question on ethics committee. You will read about it in the polity, but it is in the news. That is why it was asked. So to understand, to know what to read and what to not read, or to read more or to focus more on those areas, you need to understand current affairs. Those topics or those issues which are in the news, you focus more on that. For example, recently latest technology based issues, you can expect questions. Metaverse was asked. So similarly, whichever static subject you are reading, just have a current affairs perspective to it. Then you will be able to solve these questions from the static areas in a much better way. This is one importance for the current affairs. To understand the static, you need to have a current affairs perspective. The other importance is directly you can expect some questions, like 10-15 questions can be directly expected from the current affairs topics. So for example, this is in news recently, this region is in news recently, this committee is in news recently, this report is in news recently, in recent times this is the issue. So on these lines, UPSC is asking questions. So from two perspectives, it is important. Current affairs is important, and for the question, can you clear prelims without current affairs or going through current affairs, it is difficult because of these two reasons. For the next question, how to approach current affairs for prelims UPSC. For that, I have listed out some points. Importantly, first point is stick to one source. Take one reliable standard material from the market, a good institute's material which has reliability, and stick to it. Don't change because your friend has said that that material is good, because someone is saying that there are more questions which have come from that material. That is nothing like that. Every institute, every reliable institute has the same kind of material. So don't keep changing your sources. Stick to one material. Take at least 12 to 14 months from around April to April or Jan to April. First you try to at least finish 12 months, and then if you have time, go 2-3 months beyond. So at least 12 to 14 months of current affairs material you have to prepare. So first important point is don't keep changing your sources because your friends or someone else is telling you to do it. And once you fix to that material, keep on revising this material. It is, the current affairs has this challenge of not able to remember, not able to recollect the issues. Even after you reading it, it is the case that generally that you keep forgetting it. I have written 7 mains. Even in every mains I used to face this problem, that it's very difficult because it keeps changing, the dynamic aspect to it. That is why it becomes very difficult to remember or recollect. So for addressing this problem of recollection and remembering these topics, I would suggest form a small group of 2-3 students who have a same kind of thought process, who are sincere, who are on your zone. Form this group and discuss with them, explain to them, and they will explain to you, you discuss with them. So if you keep discussing, explaining, revising, then these topics get stick to you, and also one more thing is do solve tests. Solving tests also, MCQs on the topics also helps you to remember these topics. Third point is keep a book, a small book on the areas where you feel that you're unable to recollect, or those repeated areas, those important areas. I'll cover some of the important areas, or I'll show some of the important areas which are repeatedly coming in the news. I'll show you, and when a question or when you read some news item on that, you make a small note and keep revising every day, every now and then you go through them. They should become very close to you, and then it becomes easier. Don't get tensed about current affairs. And one more reason I forgot to mention at the first level is that why you need to read current affairs. It is both for static, it is for dynamic, and also the third important reason is it helps you build your confidence in regard to prelims preparation. See, this UPSC prelims is all about clarity, concepts and confidence. Those who have conceptual clarity, those who have calmness, those who have confidence, they will clear this prelims. How to get this confidence? Confidence is very important for clearing prelims. It is not just about reading, it's not just about knowledge, it is about approach, it is about your mindset. How you approach the mind on the day of exam determines whether you clear the prelims or not. How to manage this mind, how to have this mind management? You need to have confidence. How you get confidence? When you clear, or when you finish reading all the subjects thoroughly at least 2-3 times, then you will get confidence. Assume that you have finished everything, but except say you haven't read history, or you haven't read current affairs. Then this aspect or this fact that you have not read this history or this economy or this current affairs, that keeps bothering you, that undermines your confidence on the day of exam. So that is the reason that you need to prepare. It is not because of the questions from the history or questions from the economy. Even without studying questions from history, even by not solving questions from history, you can clear prelims, but the underconfidence makes you lose the exam, because that keeps bothering you in the background. You will not approach the exam with confidence. That is the reason you will not clear prelims. So one more reason why you need to read current affairs is it gives you confidence. Reading 6 static areas: polity, economy, geography, environment, history, science and technology, and current affairs. 7 areas. If you are thorough with them, not thorough, at least you have finished all the standard books 2 to 3 times and revise them properly, solve the tests, you will be able to clear prelims, because it gives you confidence. You know that you have prepared, or you know that you have read them 2-3 times. That gives you confidence, and that confidence on the day of exam helps you clear the prelims. Of course, there are other aspects to clearing prelims, but this is one aspect, one important aspect in regard to clearing prelims. So coming back to current affairs perspective, these are the some points. And ultimately on the day of exam, don't expect that you will get the current affairs questions from the books, from the topics that you have read. Don't go with that mindset, that expected mindset. And when you don't see them in the newspaper or in the prelims paper, you will again you will again fear, you will undermine your confidence. So even after reading everything, just expect the unexpected in the question paper. You read, you prepare, but go with that mindset to the exam with the unexpected aspect to it. You may not have read some areas, expect that they may come, but have that confidence that you will somehow clear these questions or somehow solve these questions. That mindset you need to have. So this is in regard to approaching current affairs. Stick to one material, select one reliable source, stick to it, revise it, try to understand the topics that you are reading, explain it, discuss it, and then keep solving the tests on the current affairs. Keep a book, write these areas where you are doing mistakes, which areas, those areas where you want to remember them. Don't get tensed with the noise in the market about what your friends are saying, what someone else is saying. Stick to these materials, revise it, that will be enough. So don't get tensed with the noise in the market. And finally, expect the unexpected in the exam. So these are the points that you need to remember in regard to approaching current affairs. So there are some important areas. Have analyzed some trends in the recent years. I'll make another video on these important trends in the recent years on current affairs. That I'll do it in the next video. Thank you.